Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
3 hours later, the major powers of Blue Star had completed their investigations and could already determine that the news was indeed sent from aliens. 5 hours later, the 5 streams of Blue Star, suppliers of mobile weapons, communicate and exchange views, and reach an agreement. 7 hours later, the meeting of the special representative of the permanent representatives of the United Nations Security Council officially began. There is a saying in the country of Xia, which is called a small meeting for big things and a meeting for small things. The visit of aliens is related to the future of Blue Star, and it is reasonable to say that all countries of Blue Star have the right to know, but in fact, most countries are not qualified to decide their own fate at all, or even to observe. Representative Eagle Sauce spoke first. Delegates, as you all know, my great United States is the representative of Blue Star democracy and the brightest beacon of Blue Star. For decades, we have brought many benefits to Blue Star and the people of Blue Star, promoted the social progress of the entire Blue Star, and led the trend of Blue Star progress. Only we, the great United States, can represent the Blue Star and seek the best welfare for Blue Star. So this meeting with alien visitors must be led by my great United States, and only by us. 35. The representative of Damao looked hee, and as soon as the representative of Ingchan finished speaking, the representative of Damao began to dismantle the stage. Eagle Sauce, you save it. You can only represent yourself. How many times has Lan Xing been hua by you yourself have not counted? This conference room. There are only a few of our countries. Your set of foolish speech. Don't get here to embarrass. My Damao country is the country with the largest territory of the Blue Star. To meet with aliens, there must be our family. We must also be the leading country. This position, no one can take away. Damao, you are only second-rate now. Meeting with aliens is a major event related to Blue Star. You look at yourself, there are still several countries on Blue Star that will stand with you. Who can you represent? We are studying the future of the Blue Star people. You have that little population, and you have no allies, so you can't represent the Blue Star at all, and you are not qualified to go. Representative Eagle Sauce shot back. Eagle-chan, do you want to make a comparison? The big hair representative jumped up. If it weren't for the screen, I'm afraid he wouldn't have to single out the representative of Eagle Sauce. Meng Ze, do you think I'll be afraid of you when you are loud? Isn't it without comparison? The wounds on your country's body are healed now, right? Representative Eagle Sauce also patted the table. Oh, everyone is harmonious. We are here to negotiate the problem. Don't quarrel. John Bull representative and Gallic Chicken representative stood up and played round. Shut me up. I don't have any part of your words. Representative Omao and Representative Eagle Sauce roared at the same time. After the roar, the representatives of Damao and the Ingchan's family continued to quarrel for a long time, and suddenly remembered that the representative of Xiagua did not say a word. So they all opened their mouths. Rabbit, tell me your opinion. 5. Representative Xiagua said unhurriedly, you can express your opinions casually. I will only say one thing. The aliens sent messages in Chinese. The representatives of Omao and Eagle Sauce looked at each other. After a moment of silence, the representative of Eagle Sauce spoke. Rabbit, what do you mean by this? That's what you mean. That's a little bit uninteresting for you. I think that's what it means. Representative Ingchan and Representative Xiagua stared at each other with wide eyes and did not speak for a while. France, represent the interests of hundreds of millions of people in Europe, are the representatives of Blue Star Art and Romance. We asked to participate in the alien reception work. The Gallic Chicken representative raised his hand hesitantly. No one paid attention to him, and the video conference was cold for a while. After a while, the representative of Damao said, the rabbit representative has a point. The information sent by the aliens this time may represent the familiarity of the other party with the Blue Star civilization, and we support Xiagua as the main representative of the Blue Star to participate in contact with aliens. It is obvious that the big hair representative knows the situation in his country and does not want to be the leader, but Eagle Sauce is not good. What virtue this guy has, Blue Star as long as the IQ is online, who does not know? The representative of the Xia Kingdom reciprocated. As the successor of the former Soviet Union, Damao is one of the leading leaders in the process of modern Blue Star civilization, and our Xia state proposes that Damao deputy, as an important participant, participate in contact with aliens on behalf of the Blue Star. Eagle Sauce saw Xiagua and Damao hooking up together, and then thought about the information he received, feeling that this matter really could not bypass Xiagua, so he arrived. My Great America also agrees to Xiagua as a participant, but this contact must be led by our Great America. 5. No. My Damao country opposes Eagle Sauce as the leader. Damao strongly objected. Representative Eagle Sauce, you don't understand politics in the United States, and your set can't only be used on Blue Star, not to lead extraterrestrial negotiations. Xiagua represented a look that I am good for you, and made Eagle Sauce represent a burst of anger. Staring at Xiagua and Damao, he saw that the other party was uncompromising. Eagle Chan finally set his sights on his little brother. What do you two say? 35. Representative John Yo said, I support the participation of the great United States in extraterrestrial contact as a representative of the Blue Star, and in addition, the British Empire also requests to participate in extraterrestrial contact as a representative of the Blue Star. 5. I didn't let you say the second half. Representative Eagle Sauce interrupted directly. Representative John Yo's face suddenly turned blue and white, but he did not dare to refute. Then the representative of Eagle Sauce stared at the Gallic Chicken representative, signaling the other party to express his opinion. I support the great United States of America, participating in extraterrestrial contact with Xiagua as a representative of the Blue Star. I French? Enough, that's it. Before the Gallic Chicken representative finished speaking, he was directly interrupted by the representative of Eagle Sauce. The situation is already clear. I am the United States and Xiagua, as a representative of the Blue Star. Meng Ze, as an alternate representative, participated in the first contact between Blue Star and alien civilizations. Do you have any opinions? 9. Eagle Chan hammered the sound. Damao represented there. The video was interrupted for a while, internal negotiation, and then reopened. I, Omeaguo, agree with Eagle Sauce's suggestion. I, Xiagua, agree with Eagle Sauce's suggestion. Xiagua fought for his rightful position. Naturally, there was no opinion. All of a sudden, the three major powers came into agreement, and the Gallic Chicken and John Newton suddenly felt that they were sold by their eldest brother, Zhao Qianhao. We demand. We protest. 9. Gallic Chicken and John Cow representatives raised their hands at the same time. What else do you think? As the leader of a democracy, can I, Eagle Sauce, still represent you? Eagle Sauce represented murderous eyes and a tone full of threats, which made John Cow and Gallic Chicken feel a wave of fear. In the end, he did not dare to object. After the meeting, the results were communicated to all countries of Blue Star. The five powers began to appease, beat, threaten the other countries. In the end, most countries accepted the result, with only Asan strongly opposed. Although Xiao Ri and Hans Cat objected, they were quickly pushed down by Eagle Sauce. Asanga's palm was difficult to clap, and in the end, he could only complain and couldn't stop it. Meng Ze lay on the balcony, looking at the Blue Star news with relish. With Aka present, Meng Ze can directly ignore the filters of the media and the internet and see whatever he wants to see the real situation. Since the news of the imminent arrival of aliens was exposed, the entire Blue Star was simply dancing with magic. In 2 days, a large number of alien resistance organizations and alien worship organizations sprung up. Various organizations held more than 1,000 marches, either to welcome, to protest, to demand the right to know, and so on. Other crimes such as vandalism and robbery have increased dozens of times. The overall stability of Xia country, strong institutional and organizational mobilization capabilities, and the people's trust in the government make Xiagua the brightest boy of Blue Star at such a time. Forget it. Let it all end soon. 99. After watching the beautiful scenery of foreigners for 2 days, Meng Ze didn't bother to wait any longer. With the operational capabilities of the Meng Ze 6th level fleet, 100 light-years, half an hour will arrive. What's more, the closest fleet to Blue Star is now less than 20 light-years away. It's just that the observation ability of Blue Stars is too poor, relying on visible light, and the scene at this time can only be seen in 20 years. Meng Ze arranged for the card to send the signal again, this time, clearly giving the arrival time, and also intimately attached the coordinate position in the starry sky, which is convenient for the countries on the blue star to observe. For a time, all countries with space observation capabilities pointed their observation equipment at the direction given by Meng Ze, command and control center of the headquarters of the Xia State Aerospace Force. All the personnel looked grim at this time, and all the equipment with space monitoring capabilities that could be mobilized, whether it was Satellite 783, space telescopes, etc., were all aimed at the direction given by the small card. The screen of the control center is sent to various senior leaders through transfer. In the control center, a large group of military leaders also gathered. At this time, the appointed time has not yet arrived, and all that is displayed on the screen is a dark void. Old Willow, you've worked hard these 2 days. The one who spoke was General Wan Changyuan, commander of the aerospace forces. Thank you, Admiral, for your care. It can't be said that it's hard. Everyone can't sleep in the past 2 days. Even the personnel who arrange the rest take the initiative to come to duty. This is a major event for thousands of years. No one wants to miss this scene. Lieutenant General Liu Jie said. Admiral Wan Changyuan nodded and said, yes, this matter is too big enough to easily influence the situation of Blue Star. I don't know if it is an opportunity or a threat. Admiral, I myself am more willing to believe that this alien civilization claiming to be the Imperial Federation has no malice. If there is really malice, they can directly break in without notification. With Blue Star's current level of technology, it is difficult to say that they can resist them. Lieutenant General Liu Jie said. Lao Lu is right, I also think so, Lao Wan. You relax the snack, there are only about 10 minutes left. We have already done the preparations, it is useless to think too much. General Huang Bai of the Military Commission said next to him. Time passed minute by minute, and everyone's eyes were fixed on the big screen. More than 30 seconds longer than the scheduled time, the large screen in the control center suddenly changed. I saw that in the picture, a certain void position suddenly began to distort, AFDF. Positioning, screen enlargement. Admiral Wan immediately ordered. The technician then followed a series of operation commands, and the changed position appeared in the center of the screen. Only a few seconds have passed, but by this time the situation in the picture has changed dramatically. After the picture was processed, an oversized hole appeared in the void. Then a huge metal creation came out of it. As if deliberately slowing down the process, the metal object came out very slowly, and it took a full half a minute to completely break out. At this time, Meng Ze was watching the broadcast at home, but the broadcast picture was not the picture of the Aerospace Force Command Center, but the observation screen of the observatory, not to mention the high definition, and it was also delayed. Meng Ze knew very well that the mothership had completed the space jump at this time, but the broadcast screen was still empty. Hey, now the sub-picture is full of feeling. In order to satisfy his own bad tastes, Meng Ze deliberately slowed down the shuttle process of the Stellar-class mothership. If it were an interstellar war, this shuttle speed would have been beaten into slag long ago. At this time, Meng Ze received a call from Luo Wei, today's big event. Although Luo Wei is still not on holiday, but the school allows students to bring mobile phones for the first time, and at this time, the school also organized students to watch the broadcast of outer space. Brother Xiaobai, are you almost there? The girl's excited and deliberately low voice came from the mobile phone. It's arrived, but there is a delay in the broadcast. Meng Ze replied. Oh my God, I'm so excited, little white brother. I didn't expect that I could really see it in Blue Star. Little white brother, I really want to touch it. 33 the girl said excitedly. Haven't you touched it? When she was in the interstellar world, in order to satisfy the girl's curiosity, Meng Ze also deliberately took her to visit the battleship that landed on the ground. How is that the same? This is the Blue Star. Meng Ze instantly understood the girl's psychology. To put it bluntly, when she was in the interstellar world, even if she was close, there was a sense of unreality. He himself actually felt something, although he was used to seeing big scenes, making his mind more and more calm. But Blue Star is his home star, single-handedly manipulating the visit of the so-called aliens. Meng Ze is really full of accomplishment. And he also prepared a lot of meals in the follow-up, and I wanted to know what some people's mood would be at that time. Turning his thoughts, Meng Ze pampered his phone and said, "Wait, find an opportunity for me to hold a space battleship lottery visit in Blue Star and designate a back door for you." "Ah," the girl first exclaimed with joy, and then quickly lowered her voice. "Little brother Bai, I love you too much." It was during the time Meng Ze and Luo Wei were on the phone. There was a dead silence in the command and control center of the headquarters of the Xia State Aerospace Force. When the aliens really appeared in the picture with a huge battleship beyond imagination, everyone's hearts seemed to be pressed on a heavy boulder. After a long time, Admiral Wan broke the silence with a dry accent. "Report the observation data." "Ah, ah." The technician who was awakened hurriedly carried out the operation in a panic. 2 minutes later, there are calculations. The report, according to comparative analysis, alien warships in space are 240 kilometers wide, 500 kilometers long, and 180 kilometers high, and the deviation range of each data does not exceed 5%. At the end of the report, the technician couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. It's horrible. Not only Xia country, but all the countries that observed the appearance of the Stellar-class mothership were stunned. Such a huge alien warship, there is no need to think about it at all. Only one is needed, and the Blue Star can be easily put on dozens of times. What's more, the scene where the Star-class mothership appeared clearly told the Blue Star people that this was a battleship that could travel through space, and it was definitely not a parallel cargo piled up by metal. The people on the Blue Star, of course, do not know that this can only be regarded as a transport ship, not a battleship in the true sense of the word. But even if they knew, no one dared to ignore its existence. What's more, the Stellar-class mothership has a lot of Meng Ze's planetary arms in its belly. Eagle sauce home. Admiral Abe's pipes fell to the ground. "Make sure the data is correct?" Admiral Abe, after repeated calculations and comparisons, "It is indeed that big." The surprise on Major General Paiu Pierce's face had not yet subsided, and when he first heard this data, he thought that he had a problem with his ears. "I will report to the president right away that we must greet our alien guests with the highest courtesy, the most luxurious, the most dignified," Admiral Abe said. "In addition, I told the FBI and all the security departments to go out and shut up the stupid people in the country, and I don't want to hear even the slightest noise when greeting guests." 35. "Yes, Admiral. I'll do it right away." 35. The Eagle Sauce family usually wears the skin of democracy and freedom and is still very skilled in autocracy. On Damao's side, Defense Minister Shaiba looked at his subordinates. The subordinate shook his head. "Admiral, you can't do it. There is no hope." Shaiba nodded and said in his heart, "It seems that one of them is no longer hopeful." In the following time, on the Blue Star, except for the particularly backward countries, they all began to mobilize at this time. Whether it is the army, police, media, industry and commerce, etc., there is only one voice left at this time: welcoming the visit of alien civilizations. Anyone who is politically incorrect will immediately be taught to be a man with an iron fist of justice. Until the alien civilization shows hostility, all other thoughts will be suppressed in the heart. Even the president of Eagle Sauce, who was convulsed from time to time at that time, knew that his aircraft carrier and nuclear bomb could not take out aliens. But after the appearance of alien warships, there was no sound for a long time. It made all countries nervous, until news came out from the Xia Kingdom that the Imperial Federation was negotiating with the Xia Kingdom to arrange a visit. "What? Xiagua, you actually eat alone." 35. Time goes back 10 minutes after the complete appearance of the mothership. Report that Admiral Wan, Admiral Huang, Vice Admiral Liu, the alien warship sent a communication. Is it connected? The technician reports out loud. This sudden situation made Admiral Wan Changyuan under great pressure. "Lao Huang, I'm inclined to take it. What do you think?" Although Wan Changyuan is the commander of the Aerospace Force and the supreme leader of the Aerospace Force, this kind of thing is really not easy to decide arbitrarily. Fortunately, the higher authorities appointed General Huang Bai of the Central Military Commission to come over, which in itself allowed him to have a person for consultation. "Lao Wan, we don't have a choice, you order." "Good." Admiral Wan naturally knows that it must be accepted, But this kind of thing must have the opinion of the military commission. Determining that the communication should be connected, Admiral Wan began to order. The next communication involves special secrets, and all those with access authority under this, except for the necessary technicians, within a minute, all leave the control center. The secret authority of everyone in the command center was very clear, except for a few technicians named by Lieutenant General Lu Jie. Everyone else quickly left the command and control center of the Aerospace Force headquarters after a sound of seat movement. Connect the highest level secret line and bring the situation on the scene to the leader's side. 2 minutes later, Lieutenant General Lu Jie nodded at Admiral Wan. Connect the communication. After a period of information exchange, the picture inside the alien warship suddenly jumped out. This situation shocked the technicians of the control center. Because according to the technology of Blue Star Xia Country, it is impossible to connect the real-time picture of the battleship tens of millions of kilometers away. This shows that the command and control center of the aerospace forces is completely under the control of others. Luan gently pressed his right hand down, quieting the technician. Turning his gaze to the large screen, Admiral Wan quickly scanned the image on the screen. Not to mention the very sci-fi background, the image of the other party surprised Admiral Wan, who actually looked like Xiaoguan. Admiral Wan gave the other party a military salute and said without humility or arrogance, "Hello, guests of the Imperial Federation, I am Wan Changyuan, commander of the Blue Star Xia Country Aerospace Force, and on behalf of the people of the Blue Star Xia Country, I welcome you to Blue Star as a guest." Then Admiral Wan looked at the other party. He didn't know if the other party could understand his words. But since the other party can use Chinese to send messages, there must be corresponding means of translation. To everyone's surprise, the other party responded directly with Xia Chinese. "Hello, Admiral Wan. I am the captain of the Stellar-class mothership of the 9003rd Fleet under the commander of the Imperial Federation's Galaxy Fleet 002589 Stellar-class Command. My name is Shi Guangqi." When Shi Guangqi introduced, he concealed the name of the commander, but Admiral Wan did not know, and thought that the commander of the Galactic Fleet of the Imperial Federation was a position. The identity of Captain Shi Guangqi was temporarily designated by Meng Ze. Meng Ze doesn't know if the Stellar class has a captain or needs a captain before, but as a commander, Meng Ze thinks there is, so there must be. In order to facilitate contact with Blue Star, Meng Ze arranged for Ji Brain to temporarily create Shi Guangqi and appointed him as the captain of the 002589 Stellar-class mothership. In fact, Meng Ze really wants Shi Guangqi to inform him of his name, even if it is just to satisfy his psychology of wanting to return home in disguise. It is unlikely that anyone will link the Blue Star's Meng Ze with the commander of the Imperial Federation, and there are not 10,000 but 8,000 Blue Star called Meng Ze, and even there is more than one commander of the Imperial Federation called Meng Ze. But after thinking about it, Meng Ze eventually abandoned this practice and became the commander of the Galactic Fleet instead. Blue Star people are very fond of association. You don't see how big the readers on the internet are opening their brains, and then they have to open the back door for Luo Wei. If the name is associated, it will be bad. Captain Shi, welcome. The series of numbers that Shi Guangqi reported before, Admiral Wan secretly wrote down, but did not move at all, and immediately welcomed Shi Guangqi. "Thank you, Admiral Wan. I know that this presumptuous visit has caused trouble to the people of the Blue Star Xia Country, but please rest assured that this visit is only good for the Xia Country." Shi Guangqi said. "I wonder why you came this time?" Admiral Wan asked tentatively. "We'll talk about this after we meet." Shi Guangqi did not answer. "Then I wonder how you want to reach Blue Star? Your mothership is too big to land." Hearing that they were going to meet, Admiral Wan hurriedly asked. Hearing Admiral Wan's words, Shi Guangqi smiled, knowing the subtext behind the other party. "Admiral Wan, please rest assured, without the permission of Xiagua, our mothership will not approach Blue Star. I will fly to Blue Star on a small transport ship, with no more than 100 people accompanying me. The specific time and place can cooperate with Xiagua's arrangements." Shi Guangqi directly pointed out Admiral Wan's concerns. In this case, it is normal to worry 240 kilometers wide, 500 kilometers long, 180 kilometers high, just close. It is estimated that the satellites above the Blue Star will have to lose control of more than half. Then Shi Guangqi sent the shape data of the transport assault ship over. 0. Tin. He knew that the small in his mouth and the small in Lan Xing's mind must be different. Sure enough, after seeing the data, the people in the command center gasped in their hearts. The body of 500 meters long and more than 200 meters wide is many times larger than the largest transport aircraft of Blue Star. After receiving Shi Guangqi's battleship data, Admiral Wan immediately said that he would coordinate and arrange Captain Shi's visit and reception as soon as possible. Subsequently, the two parties agreed on some details and contact information for follow-up communication. Hanging up the communication, Admiral Wan breathed a sigh of relief in his heart, but his expression did not change in the slightest. He was not sure if the aliens were still monitoring here. Lieutenant General Liu, you arranged to give me a copy of the full record of this meeting, and the archive here will be deleted immediately, leaving no backup. Admiral Wan arranged the follow-up matters, looked at each other tacitly with Admiral Huang Bai, and then walked out of the control center and waited for the special confidential conference room. Closing the door, the two admirals exhaled deeply at the same time, and then looked at each other and smiled. In that kind of position, don't look at General Wan, who has been speaking. In fact, General Huang Bai is also under great pressure in his heart. I am afraid that the aliens have a bad background, and I am afraid that there will be any problems when communicating. Huang Bai's spirit has been in a tense state, always ready to remedy it immediately if there is an accident in Admiral Wan's communication. Fortunately, at present, the result is not bad, and the aliens seem to respect the rules of Blue Star and are not so difficult to get along with. After receiving reports from the two generals, the highest level of the Xia Kingdom immediately convened an emergency meeting to discuss how to receive Shi Guangqi. Soon, the high-level decision was issued, and all departments of Xiagua began to operate at full strength. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs immediately held a press conference to announce that Shi Guangqi, captain of the Stellar-class mothership of the Imperial Federation's Galaxy Fleet, took the initiative to contact Xiagua and apply to visit Xiagua. Only at this time, the countries that were anxiously waiting in tension did not know that Xiagua actually communicated with the aliens alone. Eagle Sauce and Damao both called Xiagua as soon as possible. Eagle-chan, Rabbit, you are so unkind. You actually eat alone. Damao, brother, you can't leave me behind. The rabbit is a particular person and gave a quick reply. Rabbit, Big Mao, don't worry, your deputy representative is in the right place. Rabbit, Eagle Sauce, Captain Stone of the Imperial Federation designated to be received by Xiagua. No way. This time it can only be led by us. Do you want the position of deputy representative? Eagle Sauce, to be with. 3 days later, a grand welcome ceremony was held at the western suburbs airport of Kyoto in Natsugoku. The high-level leaders of the three countries of Xiagua, Damao, and Eagle Sauce all went to the airport to personally welcome the arrival of Captain Stone of the Imperial Federation. The huge hull slowly descended from the sky, and the transport assault ship with a repulsive engine hardly raised dust. I wonder what technology this transport aircraft uses? The accompanying military personnel had red eyes, too advanced. The hatch opened and the mobile suit was the first to line up. These warriors dressed in mobile armor, each of which is 3 meters high, brings a strong sense of oppression to the people on the scene. The guards were extremely nervous, but without orders from the leader, they forcibly maintained restraint. Fortunately, after the mobile suits lined up, there was no abnormal action. Then Shi Guangqi's figure finally appeared, and sure enough, as seen in the communication, he looked like Xiaguaran, and his height was about 1 meter and 8. Without waiting for the leader of Xiagua to greet him, Shi Guangqi stepped forward a few steps and held the hand of the leader of Xiagua with both hands to express affection. This is the person whom the commander personally ordered to be respected. 7/8" Meng Ze's idea is simple. The leader of his home country represents the dignity of his home country, and to disrespect him is to disrespect his own country. The leader of Xiagua was surprised by Shi Guangqi's enthusiasm, but immediately reacted. Captain Shi, it's been hard all the way. 35. After shaking hands with Shi Guangqi with a warm smile, the leader of Xiagua began to introduce President Eagle Sauce and President Omao to him. However, Shi Guangqi only nodded slightly to the two, and in response, His attitude towards the leader of Xiagua was completely different. When leaving the airport, Shi Guangqi did not take any mobile suits with him and traveled alone. This kind of extreme trust in Xiagua suddenly made the Xiagua people feel good. According to Xiagua's arrangement, Shi Guangqi participated in the reception banquet prepared for him by Xiagua. After the leader of Xiagua delivered a welcome speech, he invited Shi Guangqi to speak. Shi Guangqi did not refuse, and he was about to take this opportunity to explain his intentions in order to complete the task assigned by the commander. Shi Guangqi knew that Commander Meng Ze attached great importance to this contact and was always watching here. Amid the warm applause of everyone, Shi Guangqi showed a smile, stood on the stage, and delivered a speech that followed the local customs. Dear friends of the Blue Star Xia Kingdom, thank you for your warm hospitality. This time I took the liberty to visit, not as a captain, but in accordance with the spirit of the instructions of the commander of the Galaxy Fleet of the Imperial Federation, and to develop the researchers of the Chinese Support Foundation to come to Blue Star to investigate. 35. Development Chinese Ming Support Foundation? People in the audience looked at each other. What kind of organization is this? Perhaps knowing the doubts in the hearts of everyone here, Shi Guangqi explained next. The main purpose of the so-called Development Chinese Support Foundation is to help the developing civilization, solve practical difficulties, and improve the development speed of civilization. And in order to maintain the characteristics and independence of civilization, our foundation will not interfere with the civilization it helps. The specific conditions for assistance will be determined according to the results of the inspection. I'll just say that, if you need any questions, you can ask. 5. Looking at the eyes below that were either joyful or curious or vigilant, under the instruction of Meng Ze, Shi Guangqi decided to answer questions to help everyone in Xia Kingdom clear their doubts. The top level of Xiagua was still negotiating, and Admiral Abe, the defense minister of Yingchuan, who accompanied President Eagle Sauce to the meeting, could not wait to stand up. After a burst of hawk talk, Shi Guangqi didn't look at him at all. He also thought that Shi Guangqi could not understand the Eagle language, so he did not answer. Busy asked the attaché around him to repeat his question in Xia Chinese. May I ask Captain Shi, we have so many countries in Blue Star, how are you going to help? Shi Guangqi still did not respond. After the attaché asked 3 times in a row, Shi Guangqi suddenly asked, are you from the Xia Kingdom? No. The object of this inspection is the Blue Star Xia country, and we do not accept questions from other Blue Star people. What else did the Minister of Defense of Yingchuan's defense say? Xiagua staff immediately stepped forward to stop it. Admiral Abe, since the guests do not want to be disturbed, please respect yourself. Abe, who has always been extremely arrogant, was directly swept in the face, extremely angry, but did not dare to attack, so depressed that he almost vomited blood. Look at you arrogant to Lao Tzu again. Meng Ze, who is watching all this behind the scenes, is extremely sour and has long wanted to teach this guy who likes to talk a lesson. Everything Shi Guangqi said and did was naturally arranged by Meng Ze, and Meng Ze did not want to let other countries of Blue Star take advantage of this trip. Their own things will only be given to their own homeland, and other Eagle Sauce, Bear Sauce, and the like have to step aside. Like Xiao Ri, Meng Ze did not wipe it off the earth with a single shot. That is, he was worried about causing panic on the earth. However, after helping the Xia Kingdom, these things can be handed over to their home country to deal with. And I believe that with the wisdom of the leaders of the Xia country, with absolute strength, all problems will be handled properly. Researcher Shi, how do you ensure that you do not interfere with the civilization you help? A Xiagua official stood up and asked. I did not call the captain, but chose the title of the researcher and understood everything. Hearing this question, Shi Guangqi replied, maybe everyone still doesn't know much about the Imperial Federation. I will only say one fact. I believe everyone will not worry about this anymore. Shi Guangqi's gaze first swept over everyone's faces, taking in the expressions of everyone in the audience before he said, the territory of the Xia Kingdom is less than 1/4 of the land area of the Blue Star, and the Imperial Federation has 18 river systems. 99. River system? Is it a river system like the Milky Way? Someone couldn't wait to ask. Exactly. 9. Everyone present took a breath of cold air in unison. This territory is a bit ridiculously large. For Shi Guangqi's statement, most people believe that this is the truth, because there is no need for the other party to lie at present. After a while, another Xiagwa staff member stood up and asked questions. Captain Shi, you previously claimed to be from the Imperial Federation Galaxy Fleet. So does the Imperial Federation have territory in the galaxy? Why is it called the Milky Way? The Imperial Federation has a large fleet station in the galaxy, but we have also just arrived, and the station is within 100 light-years around the blue star. The Imperial Federation has no idea of occupying the galaxy. We are only here to protect the low-level civilizations of the galaxy from being slaughtered. As for the title, it is just a matter of entering the country. Captain Shi, is there any danger in the galaxy? There is no need for everyone to know these things now. The level of civilization is not enough, and knowing it is also self-inflicted. Researcher Shi, can you ask why you chose our Xia country? Shi Guangqi replied. Maybe I said that it is difficult for everyone to understand because of their appearance, but this is a fact. After the assessment of the relevant institutions under the commander of the Galaxy Fleet, there is a genetic advancement relationship between the Xia people and the citizens of the Imperial Federation. Simply put, the genes of the Xia people are the same as the genes of the citizens of the Imperial Federation after 5 generations of evolution. So the commander of the Galaxy Fleet designated the Xia country to be included in the help plan. Therefore, I came this time not to inspect Xiagwa's qualifications for assistance, but to examine the scope of assistance and the implementation of specific measures. Shi Guangqi's answer made everyone suddenly realize that yes, the other party's appearance is almost the same as that of Xiaguaran, but this reason is very likely. Just like the Xia people are born with empathy for the Indians, part of the reason is because everyone is yellow and looks similar. It is true that the people of the Imperial Federation look similar to the Xia people, but the so-called genetic advancement relationship is purely used by Meng Ze to fool people. The situation of natural evolution is too complicated. Who knows what it will be like after evolution? Of course, if human intervention is made, it can modify the genes of the Xia people to be the same as those of the Imperial Federation. After asking a few key questions, Xiagua's staff was not ready to continue asking questions. 3.5 It is not only Xiagwa people who are present now. Knowing that Xiagwa is already a clear object of help, there will be more opportunities to ask questions on other occasions in the future, and they are not in a hurry for a while. Now that I have asked too much, the people who have benefited are people from other countries, and the leaders of Xiagwa are naturally unwilling. Seeing that the staff of Xiagwa no longer spoke, Ingchan and Damao suddenly couldn't sit still, and they hurried to the scene with themselves, but they didn't get any benefits. President Damao and President Ingchan came forward to personally communicate with the leaders of Xiagwa, and after a promise, Xiagwa helped ask 2 questions. Researcher Shi, do you have any other objects of investigation in Blue Star? Only Xiagwa for the time being, Shi Guangqi replied. Then is there any other way for other countries in Blue Star to invite you to investigate? The staff continued to ask. The Imperial Federation generally does not investigate civilizations below level 3, and the Blue Star civilization has not yet entered the level. After speaking, Shi Guangqi looked at the leader of the Xia Kingdom with deep meaning and said, unless there are more than 10 million first-class citizens or people with equivalent qualifications to apply jointly, the Empire will make an exception. For Shi Guangqi's answer, the leader of Xiagwa's heart moved, and he immediately understood. The people of Omao and Eagle Sauce took advantage of the disappointment. However, because they do not know what the specific content of the Imperial Federation's assistance plan is, both countries can still deal with it indifferently now. Especially Eagle Sauce, although he did not dare to make a big statement, he still said sourly in his public speech, the Imperial Federation does not know about the situation of Blue Star, and their help content may not meet the needs of Blue Star. 3 days later, the Imperial Federation Galaxy Fleet and Xia Kingdom officially signed a support agreement. On the same day, Shi Guangqi, representative of the Imperial Federation, issued a speech saying that the Imperial Federation Galaxy Fleet assessed the Blue Star Xia country as a friendly civilization of the Imperial Federation Galaxy Fleet, and the citizens of the Xia Kingdom will enjoy the equal treatment of first-class citizens granted by the Imperial Federation Galaxy Fleet. Considering the degree of development of civilization, the corresponding treatment will be adjusted. At the same time, the Imperial Federation Galaxy Fleet's first stage of assistance plan for the Xia Kingdom was released, and when they knew the content of the help, all the Xia Kingdom people were boiling. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has published the general framework of the assistance program. The first item, Xiaguoran Genetic Improvement Program. The plan is further subdivided into two. First of all, the Galaxy Fleet of the Imperial Federation will teach primary gene technology to Xiagua to help Xiagua solve congenital hereditary diseases 05, serious infectious diseases, congenital genetic defects, and other intractable diseases. Secondly, the Imperial Federation Galaxy Fleet will give away an equivalent number of genetic enhancement reagents, Imperial Federation Edition, not exclusive to interstellar world commanders, for free, according to the statistical population of Xia Country after 1 month, so as to improve the physical fitness of Xia Country and extend the life of Xia Country. The second item, the Imperial Federation will teach the advanced agricultural technology of first-class civilization to the Xia Kingdom. This program includes the teaching of agricultural machinery technology, plant cultivation technology, nutrient solution synthesis technology, pest control technology, plant gene harmless optimization technology, etc. Item 3. The Imperial Federation will provide some low-level civilian technology to the Xia Kingdom, including all kinds of mechanical power technology, space self-circulating ecosystem technology, manned aircraft technology in the planet, outer space technology, environmental protection restoration technology, PS. Emphasis on nuclear pollution, advanced optical observation technology, micron detection technology, high-energy laser irradiator technology, advanced medical technology, and so on. Although the Ministry of Foreign Affairs did not release specific details, and the content released was vague, but even so, the whole world was sensational. The other countries of Blue Star are no longer as simple as red eyes, and they can't wait to replace them immediately. On the second day of the announcement of the plan, the number of applicants for citizenship in Xia Country soared by 1,000 times, and countless wealthy and high-tech talents joined the application team. Xiagua had to temporarily raise the threshold for nationality applications significantly. Those who have immigrated or changed their nationality have their bowels blue in repentance. On the Bin side, a number of political parties suddenly publicly announced their support for completing the merger with the mainland as soon as possible, and the Bin people are also Xiagua, and even infighting has occurred within the Green Party. If gene technology and enhanced genetic reagents are an attraction for talents and funds, then those so-called civilian technologies are a comprehensive upgrade of Xiagua's equipment. Just like everyone playing games together, you rabbits are already advanced players on Blue Star, but the equipment is almost bad, and everyone can still have a back and forth between each other. But now the rabbit suddenly fell in love with a god How, and the god is ready to support his god costume, which makes others still play. Eagle Sauce Black Palace. The presidential palace held a press conference for the first time. At the press conference, President Eagle Sauce talked a lot about the community of shared future for mankind, talked about the multilateral cooperation of Blue Star countries, and finally said when talking about the agreement signed between the Xia Kingdom and the Imperial Federation, Eagle Sauce and the Xia Country, as the two most important countries of the Blue Star, should actively communicate, strengthen exchanges, and cooperate with each other to promote the faster progress of the Blue Star civilization. President Damao sent a congratulatory letter to Xiagua for the first time, congratulating Xiagua on becoming a pioneer in communication between Blue Star and aliens, and also expressed his willingness to strengthen exchanges. Prime Minister A. San personally called the leaders of Xiagua, claiming that both countries are ancient countries of Blue Star civilization, and peace should be valued in everything, and San is willing to strengthen cooperation and exchanges with Xiagua in the future and speed up border negotiations. In the next period of time, Xiagua became a fragrant food in the eyes of all countries in Blue Star, and the relevant departments received a mountain of requests for visits. Shi Guangqi left Blue Star to return to the mothership the day after the assistance agreement was signed, accompanied by General Huang Bai and General Wan Changyuan, special commissioners of Blue Star, who were invited to visit and related entourage. The first time they got on an alien ship, the experience of the two admirals was very novel, and in the transport assault ship, the feeling was actually no different from that in the Blue Star. Without feeling the slightest movement, the two found themselves in space. Captain Shi, what kind of technology is used to make people fly without anyone noticing? Admiral Wan Chongyuan asked curiously. In the past few days in Xia country, General Wan Chongyuan, as Shi Guangqi's exclusive escort, naturally developed by leaps and bounds under the condition that both sides intended to close the relationship. This is the gravity reconstruction technology of the spaceship. We are in this transport assault ship, which is not affected by external gravity changes. Shi Guangqi replied. Seeing Wan Chongyuan's expression move, Shi Guangqi, who had already experienced the difficulty of this new friend in the past 2 days, said helplessly, "Old Luan, don't make up your mind. This technology does not have the scientific and technological level of the 4th-level civilization, and it is impossible to eat it thoroughly." Admiral Wan was immediately discouraged. Through talking, he had already learned some information about the universe civilization, and now the Blue Star civilization is still only on the threshold of a 1st-level civilization, not even a formal 1st-level civilization. Subsequently, at the request of Admiral Wan, Shi Guangqi took him and Admiral Huang Bai into the control room of the transport assault ship. The two were surprised to find that there was no one inside. It's actually automatic. The control room is designed to be spacious, and there are more than a dozen people standing on it. There are many seats neatly arranged on the side, and Shi 787 Guangqi demonstrates the operation of the buttons on the seats, allowing the seats to move, lock, and automatically return to position. After the two generals experienced it, they were full of praise. The movement function of the seat can analyze the direction in which the person wants to move according to the body movements, and only need to make a little trend to fly to the corresponding direction. Yes, flying, not sliding, and the entire seat is in repulsive levitation. The locking function is designed to prevent the seat from sliding accidentally, and the automatic homing function goes without saying. The view of the control room of the transport assault ship is not like the Blue Star science fiction movie, and what transparent materials are used, for fear that others will not see it. The entire control room is a full true virtual window. Under normal circumstances, the field of view is 180 degrees in the plane, 90 degrees in the up and down directions, but when using the panoramic simulation function, people seem to be standing in the void, all visible in any direction. After a burst of amazement, Huang Baisheng found through the virtual window of the control room that he and the others seemed to be surprisingly fast away from the Earth. So he asked Shi Guangqi, "Captain Shi, what is our current flight speed? It feels so fast." Shi Guangqi glanced at the flight control panel. The speed is only 30,000 kilometers per second. The speed is average. I thought I was in a spaceship, but you almost gave me a light. And you were actually idle. And the two admirals were suddenly choked and speechless. The distance of 10 million kilometers, including the acceleration and deceleration time, only takes about 10 minutes to arrive. When the transport assault ship passed through the mothership door separator and entered the tarmac, the two admirals saw the densely arranged mobile suits and weapons and equipment on the outside through the full virtual window. In shock, both of them couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. The troops outside, with no end in sight, simply do not know how many there are. Considering the size of the Stellar-class mothership at this time, no one needs to say, the two generals also know that with this one mothership, it is easy for the Imperial Federation to sweep away the Blue Star. Meng Ze's purpose in asking Shi Guangqi to ask General Xiagua to come is not to scare anyone, but to open the eyes of the Blue Star generals, and at the same time, to ask the leadership of Blue Star Xia country to put aside their concerns, and in the case of such a big gap, do not have to think about what others will think about you. It's like a certain treasure's father. Will he remember a piece of steamed bun in your hand? In the next few days, Shi Guangqi personally accompanied the Xia Kingdom to visit the Stellar-class mothership and did not prohibit them from taking photos and videos. Through Shi Guangqi's introduction, the two generals learned that the Stellar-class mothership was only a non-attacking transport ship in the sequence of battleships of the Imperial Federation. Of course, this so-called non-attack power is only for frigates, destroyers, battleships, and other capital ships, which still have certain self-defense weapons. Even these self-defense weapons are insurmountable to Blue Star. Have you ever seen a self-defense weapon that can casually shoot hundreds of millions of kilometers? In addition, Shi Guangqi also introduced to the two of them the various planetary arms of the Imperial Federation, including space assault ships, function assault ships, heavy fortresses, sky mecha, land combat mecha, mobile forces, and so on. Luan Changyuan and Huang Bai were both dazzled and excited. This time, the Imperial Federation Galaxy Fleet, among the technologies transferred to the Xia Kingdom, there is land armor technology, although it will be many levels lower than the technology of the Imperial Federation, but at least the first step from scratch has been taken. On the return of this visit, Shi Guangqi also proposed that at an appropriate time, ordinary citizens of the Xia Kingdom would be invited to visit the mothership as part of the exchanges between the two sides. The two admirals agreed. During this time, Meng Ze is equivalent to being on vacation. Every day, I take time out to enter the interstellar world, catch the relic Zerg and beat it up once or twice, and take out millions of its warships as a pastime. By the way, learn some information about the interstellar world and the Imperial Federation, so as not to disconnect yourself from there. Even if Meng Ze didn't pay attention, his current position was close to the core of the interstellar world, and his keen intuition still made him detect an uneasy breath. During this time, through occasional chats, Meng Ze learned that for a moment there was a moment when the three level 6 bosses who were not confused, Killer, and Cassandra Valley had more than 10 times more external support than before. Although the scale of each support is not large, it also shows that the number of Zerg troops leaking from the frontline battlefield is increasing. Without specific information, Meng Ze doesn't know exactly what happened on the front line of the Imperial Federation and the Zerg. The chat with the Dreamstar Knight glowing boss also confirmed Meng Ze's feelings, usually showing people with a high and cold face. There were actually a lot of worries about the Imperial Federation between words, and repeatedly told Meng Ze to grow up as soon as possible. Meng Ze naturally did not stand still, and various warnings made Meng Ze deliberately speed up his troop accumulation. Meng Ze, which occupies nearly a third of the Kalabari Nebula, wants to expand his territory. It is not too simple. Even if he handed over a large number of planet seeds to the Imperial Federation in exchange for merit, he still owned more than 300 small galaxies at this time, and all the planets were carefully selected. Meng Ze also owns 20 million space shipyards, which is the result of Meng Ze not letting go of himself. As long as Meng Ze is willing, he can easily build hundreds of millions of warships every day. Meng Ze is still very fond of the Imperial Federation in general, and now he has no pressure except for the original civilization of Acre. The Imperial Federation is stable, and his life can be comfortable. In this situation now, the wind is not right, and the pressure on Fantasy Starry Night Glow, as the direct person in charge of the interstellar world, is huge. In order to reduce the pressure of Dreamstar Night Glow, Meng Ze took the initiative to take over part of the star field bordering the Zerg, so that the three bigwigs who were not confused for a moment, the Killer, and Cassandra Vori could free up more hands to support the outside world. And that's where Meng Ze's daily pastime comes from. Comfortable. Looking at the stump and broken arm densely floating in the void, Meng Ze stepped into the seat, opened his mouth, and took a sip with a drink straw on the automatic floor. The relic Zergs that they still had to face carefully at the beginning have now completely become their own sandbags. Today's mission is here. You can't beat a Bellic too hard at once, in case it can't think of killing itself, haha. Meng Ze also knew that the head of the relic Zerg actually had a name, and for a moment he was not confused and told him by the big guy. At the beginning, in order to prevent the relic Zerg from disrupting the entire interstellar world through Kalabari Mountain, and the relic Zerg to avoid being fully encircled and suppressed by the Imperial Federation, the two sides also reached a verbal agreement. The Imperial Federation does not attack the Zerg's blood-spared wormhole in the Kalabari Mountain Nebula, while the relic Zerg are not allowed to attack the Imperial Federation star domain through the Kalabari Hill. Now, this verbal agreement doesn't really make much sense. The Zerg's bloodborne wormhole in Kalabari Mountain is heavily surrounded by Meng Ze's fleet, leaving it with only a large star field to slap him in search of planet seeds. Zhao Qianzhao. The Zerg are not without struggles, but under the First World War, in the face of Meng Ze's fleet of up to 1 billion, as well as technical suppression, after losing more than 50 million Zerg troops, they completely accepted their fate. Meng Ze also did not rush to exterminate, and still retained the original star field for the relic Zerg, unchanged. Abellic immediately understood that Meng Ze had other plans, and in the direction of the nebula, he honestly operated in that small star field, and no longer took the initiative to provoke Meng Ze. Even if Meng Ze took over part of the star field's defense and beat it up every 3 to 5, Abelic only resisted slightly for the first time. Later, it was discovered that Meng Ze would not destroy its planet, and in the star field that Meng Ze defended, it lay flat. This time, Meng Ze routinely finished beating up the relic Zerg and was about to exit the interstellar world when he suddenly received a communication paper from Dream Star Night Glow. Meng Ze, I need your help. Dream Star Night Glow seemed to be in a hurry, straight to the point. Big guy, please say, as long as I can do it, I will not shirk. Meng Ze said solemnly. Seeing Meng Ze's promise, Dream Star Night Hui also felt very relieved that he didn't look at the wrong person after all. I wonder if you can replace Commander Cassandravor now and fully take over the defense of the Zerg on his hands. If it were someone else, Dream Star Night Glow would never ask such a question. How long has Meng Ze been promoted to level 6? As long as they are in their right mind, they know that this thing is completely impossible to do. However, all of Meng Ze's mission submissions, including the planet seeds handed in, all passed through the Phantom Star Night Glow, and he was naturally able to detect the abnormality of Meng Ze's strength. And Dream Star Night Light also knows that Meng Ze is not only a 10,000 mines promotion, but also a small piece of strange fragments in his hand. Coupled with the information and evaluation that Dream Star Night Hui received from several other 6th-level commanders, it was confirmed by several phases, and Dream Star Night Light speculated that the strength that Meng Ze now has is definitely beyond the imagination of ordinary people, but no one can know how strong Meng Ze is. So this time, Dream Star Night Hui did not go around the corner with Meng Ze and asked straight to the point. He believed that with the friendship between the two for so long, if Meng Ze could do it, he would definitely not refuse. Although he didn't ask 790 at this time, Meng Ze's attitude gave him confidence. I believe you have also found out that the front line of defense of the Empire has been unstable recently. Phantom Star Night Light did not directly say his request, but first mentioned the situation of the Imperial Federation. Meng Ze nodded and said, I am aware that for a moment the three big guys who are not confused, Killer, and Cassandravali have sent too many times recently. Meng Ze, I can tell you some information so you can be prepared, but you must not pass it on. Dream Starry Night Light said solemnly. Big guy, please say, out of your mouth into my ear, I will never tell anyone else. Meng Ze said solemnly. Some commanders on the front line of the Empire seem to have changed their positions. They are deliberately indulging the Zerg and putting pressure on the top level of the Imperial Federation. Rebellion? Meng Ze was shocked. I don't know for the time being, but it shouldn't be. The selection of the new commander of the Imperial Federation is about to begin, and there are 6 levels of commanders who have broken the unspoken rule of commanders not to interfere in politics, and they are supporting the candidates in this way. Dreamstar Yehue looked grim. Due to his position, the Huang family, who originally wanted to take a middle position, is now gradually being involved in this battle for commanders. Do you know who it is? Meng Ze frowned. There are some guesses, but they are not absolutely correct. You know, senior commanders do things, especially in War Command. One by one the means are extremely clever, even if the Zerg breaks through the defense line of Commander A. But how do you know that it is not other commanders who secretly force or guide, resulting in loopholes in Commander A's defense line? We can only guarantee now that there is no problem with the 6th level commander who has gone out of the interstellar world in the past 2 years. Dreamstar Night Hui is very headache about this situation. No way, the 6th level commanders are all the top figures in 1 billion and 10 billion, and the means are too clever. Meng Ze immediately understood the idea of Dreamstar Nightglow, or the Huang family. They want to stabilize the situation by mobilizing the 6th level commanders of the interstellar world, and even put pressure on the 6th level commanders of the frontline in reverse. After all, those commanders with abnormal thoughts did not want to expose it, nor did they want to completely tear their faces with the Imperial Federation. Meng Ze made an estimate in his heart, and then said to Dreamstar Nightglow, "Big guy, if anyone else asks, I will say no, but for you, I don't want to hide it. I can replace the 6th level commander of Cassandravali, but I need about 6 days to expand the starfield, and my current territory is not enough to completely plug the gap of Commander Cassandra Lavore. Okay, I'll wait for you." AFDF, for 6 days, Dream Starry Nightglow can fully afford to wait. After hanging up the communication, Meng Ze immediately asked the small card to adjust his nebula area strategy. Originally, All planet seeds had to be carefully selected: ordinary planet seeds, large Death Star seeds, small life planet seeds, Death Star resource star seeds. These, Meng Ze is not wanted. The first two are directly abandoned, and the latter two are handed over to the Empire. Now, as long as it's not a waste star, the other planet seeds Meng Ze are pulled back. He still has a lot of stellar seeds in his hands, and according to Meng Ze's estimates, he can expand his star field to more than 1,000 small galaxies in about 6 days. As long as the location between the small galaxies is well arranged, plus the fleet and the Radiance-class superfortress, it should be able to meet the conditions for plugging the gap left by the boss of Cassandra Revor. Besides, let's add some battleships. In 6 days, full production, it can provide Meng Ze with more than 1 billion warships. Meng Ze now has countless mines, and coupled with the back door that AKA opened for him, crystal mines will never be lacking. Bringing up the star map of Cassandra Wali's territory, Meng Ze began to plan his future layout with Xiaoka. When the new layout plan appeared, after the final calculation, a total of 1,131 small galaxies were needed, which was not much different from Meng Ze's expectations. Leaving the subsequent small galaxy generation and basic defense arrangement to the small card, Meng Ze was idle again. The commander only needs to grasp the overall situation, and the detailed affairs should be handed over, especially the Wisdom Brain small card, which needs to be exercised more, otherwise everything will be handled by himself, and the commander should be exhausted to death. Meng Ze found a plausible explanation for his actions. Exiting the interstellar world, the blue star is just when the sun goes down, a round of red sun, half covered and half hidden hanging in the west, dyeing the surrounding clouds red. Standing on the balcony on the 22nd floor of the Jinyuan community, the wide view made Meng Ze feel at ease, and the troublesome feeling caused by the disturbances on the side of the Imperial Federation was swept away. "Are you free? I missed you." Meng Ze sent a message to his little girlfriend. Meng Ze doesn't know how other commanders relieve loneliness, but for him, Luo Wei is an important spiritual sustenance, and every time he sees her, even if he is in a bad mood, he will get better. "Brother Xiaobai, I'll come over now." Within 2 minutes, the girl's message returned. But seeing the content, Meng Ze was speechless for a while. He can fully imagine the mood of Luo's father and mother at the moment. This intimate little cotton jacket, I'm afraid it will leak wind. Thinking of Locke's parents and Locke, Meng Ze felt that he should find a suitable time for his parents on both sides to meet. At this time, Wei Wei's parents acquiesced to their relationship with her, but their parents did not know it, and it was good for everyone to clarify it as soon as possible. After thinking for a while, Meng Ze had a plan in his heart. It had only been half an hour before Meng Ze heard the door open. As soon as Meng Ze stood up, her face flushed and there was a slight sweat on her forehead. The girl pounced. Meng Ze easily caught the girl, took the girl into his arms, and took the girl in his arms. "Brother Xiaobai, I miss you so much." Luo Wei wrapped her arms around Meng Ze's neck, looked into his deep eyes, and said affectionately. Meng Ze could feel the girl's attachment to him. In fact, it had only been 3 or 4 days since the last time they met, and it was like a long time had passed. The two had an intimate relationship, and Meng Ze asked, "It's so late, you want to come out? Do uncles and aunts agree?" "He, Dad didn't speak. Mom, I said it a few more times and she agreed," the girl said proudly. Then, the girl put her face to Meng Ze's ear and said softly, "Brother Bai, I have another piece of good news for you. I told my mother that I won't go back tonight." After saying this, the girl even turned red at the base of her neck. Meng Ze can fully imagine how much courage it takes for a young girl to make such a request to her mother. Meng Ze hugged Luo Wei tightly. At this moment, there were no messy thoughts in his heart, only full of tenderness and pity. After a while, the two who calmed down began to talk about the recent blue star. Mainly Luo Wei is speaking, Meng Ze listening. From Luo Wei's story, Meng Ze can experience the changes he has brought to the lives of ordinary people in Xia country. "Brother Bai, yesterday our family re-registered. This time the census heard that it must be completed within 2 weeks, but everyone registered very actively. When we went, there were a lot of people, just reconfirmed, there was a queue for 2 hours. Brother Xiaobai, I have seen a lot of news reports. In the past few days, Many fugitives have taken the initiative to go to the Public Security Bureau to turn themselves in, and even many wanted criminals abroad have returned. 5. Brother Xiaobai. My classmate said that her relative's child had a malignant brain tumor and was ready to give up treatment, but suddenly asked for registration, and as a critical emergency patient, he will be sent to the stellar class mothership for treatment. Brother Xiaobai. When can we go to the mothership? Speaking of classmates, relatives, and children being sent to space for treatment, Vivi suddenly asked. Meng Ze thought for a while and said, just the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow weekend I want to take my parents over and meet my uncles and aunts, and the day after tomorrow we will go to the mothership to play together. 39. Brother Xiaobai. Do you want to see your uncle and aunt? Will uncles and aunts like me? Will they think I'm too small? Luo Wei asked a series of questions in a worried mood. No, as long as I like you. My parents will like it. If you don't believe me, you will know. Meng Ze reassured. Huh? Now? Luo Wei suddenly became nervous. Haha, don't be afraid. You cannot speak. Meng Ze kissed the girl's cheek and dialed her parents' phone. When Meng Ze talked about a girlfriend on the phone and asked his parents if it was inconvenient to meet each other's parents tomorrow, as expected, his parents were extremely surprised and said yes. In the hearts of Meng Ze's parents, now that Meng Ze has a successful career, they are worried about his marriage problems. Unexpectedly, Meng Ze already has a girlfriend, and it seems that he wants to confirm the relationship. Since his parents agreed, Meng Ze's side immediately made arrangements, and without Meng Ze doing anything, aka had already helped his parents book a ticket for tomorrow morning, and then he only needed to let Meng Ze arrange someone to escort them over. Originally, Meng Ze said that if the girl is shy, she cannot speak. But Luo Wei still forcibly restrained her inner apprehension and shyness, and greeted Meng's father and Meng's mother on the phone, which attracted a burst of praise from the old man. When the phone hung up, the girl almost collapsed. Meng Ze hooked the girl's little nose with his little finger and complimented the girl again. Early the next morning, Meng Ze instructed Shi Guangqi to inform Xiagua that according to the previous agreement, a random selection of 1,000 families would be conducted today in Xiagua to visit the stellar class mothership. After arranging it, Meng Ze didn't take care of it anymore. Anyway, his own family and Luo Wei's family must be on the selection list. After Luo Wei got up in the morning, Meng Ze first sent her back to her home, and then went to the airport to wait for her parents, and the two families had already made an appointment to meet at the Wanjia Hotel at noon. When he saw his parents again, Meng Ze found that they were much younger, which would not be the credit of brain extract, but because there was no pressure in life. The joy of the family meeting is beyond words. At noon, Meng Ze took his parents to the Wanjia Hotel to meet Luo Wei's family. The girl's excellent appearance and well-behaved performance made Meng Ze's parents very fond. Although I later learned that Luo Wei was young and could not get married immediately, it was a bit of a pity. But the parents of both parties verbally agreed on a future marriage contract, and this time it was a simple engagement banquet. After that, the sudden invitation message made the two families even more happy. The matter of aliens is now hot in the country. Even people in the ravines know about aliens' visits, but they did not expect that their two families actually obtained the qualification to visit the alien spacecraft at the same time, which is a double happiness. The girl who knew the inside story secretly held Meng Ze's hand. Meng Ze turned his head, and the two looked at each other and smiled. After dinner, Luo's father and mother went to Meng Ze's residence for the first time and visited, but they didn't stay here for long and separated. Luo's father and mother are in a hurry to go back and prepare for tomorrow's alien worship visit. In fact, Meng Ze knows that there is nothing to prepare. It is only a day's trip back and forth, eating and drinking on the mothership, but he can't say, and he can only toss it by his parents and future father-in-law and mother-in-law. In the evening, Vivi called. Brother Xiaobai, I'm sorry, I may have leaked my mouth. Luo Wei apologized as soon as she opened her mouth. It's okay. Everything has me. What's wrong? Meng Ze didn't pay much attention, and he could probably guess what it was. My parents called Lingling's house when they came home and said that we were going to the alien battleship, and when Lingling and I called, I really hoped that I could also go. I didn't hold back. Just tell her that Brother Bai can help her get the qualification. Speaking of this, Luo Wei hurriedly added, but I told her to keep her quiet first. 99. 0. Asking for flowers? It's okay. I'll handle it. Meng Ze comforted the girl, hung up the phone, and was about to call Zhang Lingling, but the other party called directly. Brother Xiaobai, I want to visit the space battleship. Zhang Lingling's tone seemed very determined. Hee, why did you come to me directly? Meng Ze laughed. I feel that Brother Bai has something to do with aliens. Zhang Lingling said. Because of Vivi? Meng Ze didn't deny it, just wondering how the girl had connected herself with aliens. Well, from the aliens, Vivi has always behaved differently from others, as if she is familiar with aliens. Today I heard my uncle and aunt talk about their family and Xiaobai brother. Your family were selected to visit the alien mothership. I was even more suspicious. Zhang Lingling said. So, you tempted Vivi? Meng Ze's tone cooled a little. Zhang Lingling, a girl, is too smart, especially good at catching clues, but this kind of careful thinking is used on Luo Wei. Meng Ze is a little unhappy. 0. Brother Xiaobai, I'm sorry, don't be angry, I don't know how, hearing that you and Vivi are engaged, I felt so bad in my heart. Hearing Meng Ze's tone suddenly cold, Zhang Lingling panicked, and her voice also brought crying. Meng Ze's gaze seemed to cross the void, and when he saw Zhang Lingling hiding on the balcony talking, tears silently falling down his cheeks, which made his heart soften. Thinking about the days with Zhang Lingling, this girl's heart and eyes are actually not bad, but she has more careful thoughts that a girl should have. Sighing, Meng Ze thought of the messages Zhang Lingling sent him every 3 to 5. When dating Vivi, the other party always found various reasons to stay together, and even did not shy away from making out with the two of them. How could he be completely unaware of all kinds of circumstances? I have deliberately distanced myself from each other during this time, but now it seems that the effect is not good. Well, I don't blame you. Let's come together tomorrow with your family. If there is anything you want to know in the future, ask me directly. Don't test Wei Wei. You have been with her for so long. You should know that her mind is very simple. Meng Ze said in a soft tone. Well, I won't in the future. Thank you, little white brother. Zhang Lingling nodded heavily and wiped away her tears. When the phone hung up, the girl didn't seem to notice, but looked at the phone fixedly. Ding dong. A few minutes later, the sound of a text message woke the girl up. The girl hurriedly opened her mobile phone and saw that it was indeed an invitation to visit the Stellar-class mothership. The girl showed a smile and feigned surprise. Dad, Mother, we have also obtained the qualification to visit the mothership. When Zhang's father and mother heard their daughter's words, they ran over in surprise. And when they saw the information, there was really something. And they were suddenly so excited that they couldn't help themselves, and in a blink of an eye, they were busy calling relatives and friends to show off. Meng Ze's side felt that it was correct not to expose the commander's name before. Even Zhang Lingling could guess it, and the book friend boss had no problem. Although Akka can eliminate this information, more is better than less. The next day, the people who had been admitted to visit were still wondering how to get there. Unexpectedly, Xiagua directly arranged a helicopter for pickup, and several families gathered at the nearest airport, and then the transport assault ship sent by the Stellar-class mothership was picked up. This time, after greeting Xiagua in advance, the Stellar-class mothership used a total of 80 transport assault ships to land and pick up people, and 1,000 space assault ships escorted in outer space. Meng Ze knew that some countries had been putting pressure on the Xia Kingdom with rhythm recently, and it was just a good opportunity to show a little of its minions to countries other than the Xia country of Blue Star. The reason why Meng Ze doesn't care about some things. One is that he doesn't want to give the Blue Star people a feeling of being oppressed by aliens, and the other is that Meng Ze believes that the Blue Star's affairs should be solved by the Blue Star itself, and with the help provided by himself, Xiagua is completely able to handle the Blue Star's affairs beautifully, and the leaders of the Xia, 7 and 90 country are all hardened, but they are not the kind of actors abroad. But not wanting to care doesn't mean not daring to care. In this transitional period, if Blue Star jumps too high, Meng Ze doesn't mind letting him know what Alien Iron Fist is. Obviously, everyone understood what Meng Ze meant, and Blue Star instantly quieted down a lot. As for what hookups and undercurrents in private, Meng Ze doesn't care at all. In the interstellar world, he has even planted thousands of planets, and he will care about this wind and rain on the Blue Star? Meng Ze's family, Meng Tan, his girlfriend, Luo Wei's family, Zhang Lingling's family, and 3 families took a transport assault ship alone because of the random selection. On the transport assault ship, all the space is open to them, and mobile suits are specially arranged as commentators, which fully satisfies everyone's curiosity. When the Stellar-class mothership arrived, Meng Ze's transport assault ship entered the passage first and was immediately guided to the number 1 special tarmac to dock. On the tarmac, Shi Guangqi led tens of thousands of mobile suits to discharge a long passage and line up to welcome Meng Ze's arrival. Vivi looked at Meng Ze with extreme adoration, and the joy in her heart was about to overflow. The burning eyes made Meng Ze feel like he was almost melting in it. Zhang Lingling stood beside Luo Wei. Her mind has been paying attention to Meng Ze and Luo Wei, and naturally found their abnormalities. Meng Ze is too calm, and Luo Wei seems to be proud of her fiancé. Others only thought that the aliens were too enthusiastic, and such a grand greeting made them not know how to put their hands and feet. Meng Ze found everyone's dilemma, took Luo Wei's hand and walked in front, stepping on the intelligent review car that had been prepared long ago, followed by Shi Guangqi and Zhang Lingling. Others, guided by mobile suits, got into other vehicles and slowly drove through the kilometer-long passage. Moving forward, Meng Ze began a semi-formal review of his troops, aka, deal with it. This scene is unusual, and maybe everyone will not feel it now, but in hindsight, you can definitely find the problem in it. Meng Ze means aka understands that he has done memory blurring for everyone other than Meng Ze, Zhang Lingling, Luo Wei, and Meng Ze's staff. Afterwards, everyone will remember that the aliens prepared a welcome ceremony for them, and the details are clear, but the content related to Meng Ze will be deliberately ignored. At the end of the review, Shi Guangqi arranged for staff to guide everyone to move freely, and under Meng Ze's instructions, deliberately arranged everyone separately. Luo Wei's parents, Meng Ze's parents, Zhang Lingling's parents, Meng Tan and his girlfriend. Originally, Meng Ze and Luo Wei should be a separate group, but at Zhang Lingling's request, it became a group of 3. Meng Ze took the 2 daughters, under the guidance of Shi Guangqi, through the teleportation device, to the core of the Stellar-class mothership, a central control room with only more than 100 square meters. Who could have imagined that such a huge star-class mothership could be controlled only in this small room? All the things in the central control room add up to more than a dozen, and they already know the arrival of the commander and are waiting in line with their heads held high. Crash 35. Commander Eternity 35. Meng Ze stepped out of the portal, and everyone stomped one by one, clasped their right fists and shoulders, and shouted salutes. Warrior fearless. Meng Ze stood upright, looked at them, clapped his right hand on the shoulder, and saluted in return. Although I know in my heart that these people are all mass-produced cyborgs, emotional machines. Loyalty engraved into their genes means that no matter how Meng Ze behaves, it will not change their loyalty to Meng Ze. But in the face of these biochemical warriors, Meng Ze believes in his heart that they must be given corresponding respect. After returning the salute, Meng Ze waved his hand and asked them to go back to their posts. When Zhang Lingling saw this scene in front of her, her whole person was stunned, her head was buzzing, and she was completely unable to think. Shi Guangqi controls the rise of 3 chairs in the central control room, and the central chair is the widest, and Meng Ze does not allow him to sit directly over. Then beckoned to Luo Wei, but Luo Wei and Zhang Lingling, who was dazed, both came over and sat beside him, one left and one right. When Zhang Lingling came back to her senses, she saw her girlfriend's strange eyes, and her heart was dumbfounded. Originally, Zhang Lingling should have gotten up immediately and found another place to sit, but she moved in her heart, pretended not to care, and did not leave. Zhang Lingling was clinging to Meng Ze on one side, and he could naturally feel the stiffness of the girl's body. But at this time, Meng Ze could not give her encouragement, and of course, it was not good to drive her away. So Meng Ze ignored it, looked at Shi Guangqi standing in front of him and said, "Captain Shi, sit down." "Thank you, Commander." Shi Guangqi raised a small chair opposite Meng Ze and sat down, paying full attention, waiting for Meng Ze to speak. During this time, Captain Shi, you have done a good job, and I am very satisfied. Although the instructions are made by himself, How to implement them still requires Shi Guangqi to play on his own, so Meng Ze's praise is sincere. All glory to the commander. Shi Guangqi, snapped Li Jing. Sit down, no salute. Next, I have 3.5 things to arrange for you. Meng Ze said. Commander, please order. Yu and Xiagua issued a notice, saying that this batch of sightseeing personnel can give priority to injecting gene enhancement reagents, which is a reward for the lucky ones, of course. Whether they are willing or not depends on individuals. Meng Ze said. Understood. As for those who were with me just now, do a physical fitness test and use the best one they can withstand. Speaking of this, Meng Ze paused and added, after the effect is absorbed, recheck, and if it can withstand it, use one more. 35. Understood. 99. Okay, that's it. You go and prepare. In addition, arrange it for them first. Meng Ze gestured to the two girls on the left and right. The subordinates will go immediately. 35. After speaking, he gave a salute and left quickly. As soon as Shi Guangqi left, the two girls spoke at the same time. Brother Bai, what's going on? This is Zhang Lingling asking Meng Ze. Lingling, you? This is Luo Wei, who is surprised. Vivi, I'll talk to you alone later, okay? Zhang Lingling looked at Luo Wei with begging eyes. Luo Wei was stunned for a moment. She had never seen Zhang Lingling look like this, nodded, and agreed to come down. Zhang Lingling looked at Meng Ze, and Meng Ze did not break his word. Do you know the commander of the Imperial Federation Galaxy Fleet? No. The girl nodded. There is an introduction to Shi Guangqi's identity in the news, which mentions the name of the commander of the Imperial Federation's galactic fleet. I am. You. You are. Although there are some speculations, when Meng Ze directly admitted, Zhang Lingling still felt unbelievable. Brother Xiaobai, aren't you a Blue Star person? How? How? Who stipulated that the Blue Star people can't be the commanders of the Imperial Federation? Meng Ze asked rhetorically. 05. How is this possible? It's unbelievable. Zhang Lingling felt like she was dreaming. After a while, calming down, Zhang Lingling glanced at Luo Wei. Then Wei Wei has long known? Meng Ze nodded. Luo Wei showed off next to him. I have also been to Brother Xiaobai's command center many times, as well as his planet, and I have seen his fleet, which is much more spectacular than this spaceship. Hearing her girlfriend's words, Zhang Lingling looked envious, and then turned to look at Meng Ze, and just about to speak, Shi Guangqi came back. Meng Ze stood up and asked, how's it going? Report to the commander. Xiagua has agreed to use genetic enhancement reagents according to the personal wishes of the visitors. What do those people say? Except for a few people who have doubts, the vast majority of people agree to use it. Shi Guangqi replied. Since they can be selected, it can be regarded as luck. The genetic enhancement reagents used by these people will be increased by 1 notch, and those who do not want to use them will be left alone. Understood, Commander. Are there any of those who come with me who disagree? Nope. Okay, then, just do what you said before. Understood, Commander. What about theirs? Meng Ze asked. It is ready and ready to use. The subordinates have arranged the highest level energy warehouse to ensure the energy supply during the genetic enhancement period, and the personnel who come with the commander have also been properly arranged. Good. 35. Meng Ze nodded, then looked at the two girls. Then you guys go now. Brother Xiaobai, will you accompany us? Luo Wei hugged Meng Ze's arm, a little scared. Okay, go together. Don't worry. When the gene is strengthened, give you the choice of sleep reinforcement, you won't feel any discomfort. Meng Ze reassured. The Imperial Federation's gene enhancement technology is very mature, and gene medicine is used, just as common as Blue Star cold medicine. Not only is it easy and quick to use, but as long as it is not overstrengthened or exceeds the limit of genetic enhancement, there is basically no discomfort. Under the leadership of Shi Guangqi, everyone came to the energy cabin. Shi Guangqi took out the 2 gene enhancement reagents that had been prepared long ago and handed them to the 2 women respectively under Meng Ze's gesture. Then advised, the 2 ladies only need to take the drug, remove the outer clothes, lie in the energy warehouse, wait for the gene enhancement reagent to take effect. If you are afraid of any discomfort, You can use the sleep function of the energy warehouse. This function will make people enter a deep sleep state. Hearing Shi Guangqi's words, if Luo Wei's face was only slightly red, Zhang Lingling was strongly embarrassed and happy, feeling that her head was going to smoke. I don't. After a long time, she was stunned that she didn't say a complete word, not at all like her usual appearance. Meng Ze saw her appearance, relieved her of the siege, pointed at Luo Wei, and said to Shi Guangqi, "This is my fiancé Luo Wei." "Madam." Shi Guangqi bowed slightly. Then he pointed at Zhang Lingling and said, "This is our friend, Zhang Lingling." "Miss Lingling." Shi Guangqi nodded in greeting. Hearing Meng Ze's words, the redness on Zhang Lingling's face instantly faded, appearing a little pale. Her lips were tightly pursed, and tears flashed in her eyes. Meng Ze didn't look at her and said to Shi Guangqi, "You go first, just have me here." After Shi Guangqi left, Meng Ze said to the two girls, "Captain Shi's words, you all heard it." Luo Wei nodded, and Zhang Lingling was still stunned. "Lingling, what kind of god are you walking?" Luo Wei pushed her, causing Zhang Lingling to wake up. Luo Wei saw that her face was not good and said with concern, "What's wrong with you? Where is it uncomfortable?" Looking at her girlfriend's worried look, Zhang Lingling shook her head, not knowing what mood she should be in now. Meng Ze knew what was going on and changed the subject and repeated what Shi Guangqi said. "Okay, don't waste time. You guys start. I'll go outside and wait for you." Meng Ze said. "No, Brother Bai, are you here?" Luo Wei pulled Meng Ze coquettishly. "And Lingling," Meng Ze reminded. "Brother Xiao Bai, you are here anyway? Anyway, it's just taking off your coat." 35 Zhang Lingling plucked up her courage. Yes. Luo Wei nodded hurriedly. Meng Ze looked at his silly fiancé, then at Zhang Lingling, who was full of begging, and nodded 790. Meng Ze knew that if he did not agree, it would be a complete rejection of Zhang Lingling, which would be simple, but it would definitely make the girl heartbroken. Facing Zhang Lingling's kind of eyes, Meng Ze was really ruthless. Seeing that Meng Ze agreed to stay, Zhang Lingling breathed a sigh of relief in her heart. After the two girls took the genetic enhancement reagent, they removed their outer clothes and trousers and wore only intimate clothing, revealing the bumpy and beautiful figure of the young girl. Compared with Luo Wei's symmetry, Zhang Lingling is relatively plump. Seemingly noticing Meng Ze's gaze, Zhang Lingling blocked it and then removed her hand again. "Brother Xiaobai, you have to stay with me all the time." Before entering the energy warehouse and lying down, Vivi also specially advised, "Don't worry, I'll always be by the side." When the girl lay down, a thin energy mist slowly overflowed from the edge of the silo, gradually covering the delicate bodies of the two girls, as if dressing them with a layer of tulle, adding more beauty. Meng Ze sat to the side, watched for a while, and gradually his mind fell to the interstellar world. Through Akka and Card, Meng Ze can now control that side even if he does not enter the interstellar world. It's just that the atmosphere in the interstellar world is stronger, and wearing a combat command uniform to cooperate with the command center command can make Meng Ze more efficient.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.